Well, hello everyone, my name is Prime and welcome back to this episode of ATS Showcases, and today's episode is very special because it is the 100th episode of ATS Showcases. Thank you guys so much for the continued support, and I cannot wait to see where both the playlist and the channel go in the future. And to celebrate this milestone, I've decided to do a heavy haul here in Montana. Big shock, my first one in the Montana DLC, so I think it's going to be a really nice one. We're over here in Glasgow, and we're going to head over to Great Falls and through Havre. Yes, I said it, I think, correctly now. For those who've been continuing through or following, I guess I should say, through the Montana DLC pre-release stuff, in all the blog posts, I kept getting roasted about how I say Havre. I called it Havre, or whatever you call it. Havre is apparently how you say it. Now, again, correct me if I'm still wrong, and I probably am at this point. But honestly, I don't really care. Havre is what it's going to be. It should be really nice. It should be a really nice delivery, and we're going to get going in just a second. But listen to this beautiful Peterbilt 389. Oh yeah, JC Amateur Sound mods are back, my friends. Oh yes, we need some engine mods here. All due respect to SES Software's sound design team, I think they could maybe take a few notes from some of the community sound mod designers. It's just something else here with the sound mods. They're just so good, and we're actually running an 800 horsepower engine today, an 800 horsepower cat engine to be specific, and so it should be quite a nice delivery. I guess we'll continue on where the GPS is heading here. Decided to just kind of park myself here on a dirt road. I actually came from the pickup point, was actually just behind us here. Maybe I should have actually turned, because this is going to get probably a little bit tight with our wheel loader in here, but we'll make it work. Maybe tight is an understatement. But no, I think we're okay. Yeah, we're fine. Just a little bit of an interesting start to the delivery, but should be all good. Just decided to go here, so then I had a little bit more space to do the intro, and a little bit different than just sitting in an industrial complex for the beginning of the video. Sometimes it's nice to just see some different scenery. We are here in Glasgow, as I mentioned, and it is looking really, really quite nice. Some quite diverse areas here, and that's something we should get used to in Montana, because this state is very much diverse from, well, canyons to rivers to flats and plains. Well, I guess flats and plains are the same thing, but you know what I mean. It's a very diverse state, and same with the towns. They are very, very diverse and look really, really good. So, of course, as I mentioned, this is my first heavy haul here on the Montana DLC, and I figured for a milestone such as 100 episodes of ATS Showcases, which is, once again, truly incredible. Thank you guys so much for all that support. I figured I should do something kind of monumental, which is my first heavy haul here. Although it's not one of the oversized loads, that's for sure. An oversized special haul, you know, all that stuff. Oh, 18 wheels of steel garage, or 18 wheels garage trailer, quite nice. I think that's actually kind of off of the 18 wheels of steel game, kind of like a mimic off of it, but whatever. It's really quite nice to just be doing a heavy haul of some sort, and I believe this wheel loader is, yes, well, 34,000 pounds. I guess not as heavy as I thought it was, and I just ran that red light because I wasn't paying attention. Lovely. Good old start to a video there, Prime. Yes. Big shock there. Are you not? Are you really surprised at this point that I would have done something like that? I'm not. I was too fixated on the trailer ahead of me to actually see anything when it came to the lights around me. So don't do that, kids, in real life. Stop for the stoplights, please. And I'm just doing this for fun. But yes, when it comes to ATS Showcases, 100 episodes is truly incredible. I can't believe I've done 100 different episodes, albeit some episodes, you know, have similar trucks and stuff like that, or just similar mods, but even still, it is crazy to say that 100 episodes of ATS Showcases have been completed and under the belt here on Prime Simulation. It's really, really quite a unique experience, and definitely a cool achievement, that's for sure. I've done more than just 100 episodes of ATS, that's for sure. Don't get me wrong there, I've done plenty of other ATS videos, but 100 videos of ATS Showcases itself is really, really quite neat. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it's actually been a couple years now of doing them, and it's starting to pick up more and more, and the playlist is definitely been getting more traction recently, thanks to the generous support of all of you guys watching. Every single one of you means a lot here on the channel, no matter if you're a subscriber, a monetary supporter, or just a viewer for that sense. I truly appreciate all your support, and I am so excited for the things I have planned here on the channel in the future. I've got quite a few things almost to actually the point of release for the future here, and it's just really going to open up the channel a little bit more. So I won't give that away too much, but definitely keep an eye out here on the channel for some different things. That's going to be quite cool. And I'm really excited to get that going. But let's I guess, besides that 100 episode and kind of Prime Simulation yabber jabber here, let's talk a little bit about Texas DLC, because we have ourselves another Texas DLC blog post that released within the last few days. And, well, that is definitely a nice blog post to have. It was focusing on the agricultural section, I guess, of the DLC. Definitely a large section. I mean, everything is bigger in Texas, but the agriculture section is definitely a big part of Texas. For anyone who knows a bit about Texas, they've got a lot of different industries and a lot of big industries. But when it comes to agriculture, and especially farming and ranching, that is a big part. So the blog post actually combined multiple topics, I guess I should call them, topics from the Texas microsite. That blog post combined quite a few of them, meaning one of them being the grain elevators, and I believe even one of the new, I think watermelons is actually going to be a new crop type, a new farm type that you'll be able to find across the Texas DLC. So that'll be kind of interesting. But there's a few blog posts that got combined there into just one. So it is good for the sake of the timeline release of Texas, meaning that the blog posts, there's less now on the kind of projected blog post list that there was, because a few of them were combined together. So that's always nice, and thank you to a few of you in the Prime Simulation Discord server for pointing that one out. You guys are truly incredible over there, and I always enjoy checking in on the conversations there, because there's always some cool, insightful stuff over there, and a lot of great detective eyes in that Discord server as well. Now, you may be wondering why there's been a little bit of a gap considering the release of Montana between some of my stuff I had, normally planned, what I've been talking about. I had just mentioned not too long ago that I was planning on doing a cinematic showcase of Montana, which is in the works. Don't worry, it is coming very soon. And just besides that, why haven't there been other episodes? Well, in my absolute brilliance, I decided to do a kind of desk renovation here, and I had actually had that planned. That was going to be kind of doing it around, well, I guess this current time, prior to knowing the release date of Montana. And then the Montana release date got confirmed, and then I didn't want to, but I kind of fudged the date of when I did my kind of room desk configuration thing by a day or two, so I could at least get some the early access content that I was very fortunate to get from SES Software, and then also just do a little bit of, or do an extra gameplay or so on it before basically annihilating my whole setup to basically start from scratch. Whole new desk layout, whole new desk itself, custom desk, whole new monitor layout. It's all new speaker stuff. It's all kind of been reworked here, and it's honestly still a major work in progress. So hopefully this video turns out fine. There's some things that I have set up that I may want to change, I may not. It's mainly just getting used to a entirely new setup here, and it's really quite nice to have something, a little bit of a refresh, and something I can expand upon a lot better, especially with the desk layout. So moving forward, it's going to be a lot easier to upgrade equipment, so on and so forth. But overall, kind of picked the interesting time, I guess you could call it, and arguably a pretty bad time to do it for a sake of content. But I think it was much needed, and I have no regrets of doing it. But coincidentally, actually Jeff Faviano, as far as I know, he actually did kind of similar thing around the release, and I was honestly surprised to see that, considering the reach he has, even compared to me. But it was as far as I know, whether he moves or just was just configuring his room, kind of like what I did and was my office. It was just kind of an interesting time that there's at least someone else that was doing the same thing as me, so at least I wasn't in a way felt so alone, even though it didn't really matter and I have no contact with Jeff anyway, so it doesn't matter. But even so, it was still kind of a funny thing to see that he was doing the same thing, and I was honestly wondering why I hadn't seen really any ATS content from him, and I was surprised about that, but it kind of all falls in line now. And my word, is his setup, just on a side note, his setup is sounding like it's an absolute dream. I'm definitely going to check out the video where he shows his setup tour, because that is definitely going to be an inspiration for me. Hopefully somewhere down the line, I'd love to have kind of a setup like he's going to have. I know his setup that he's doing now is his dream setup. He's fortunate enough to have it done, and hopefully I may be able to do the same at some point too, because it is definitely a very cool setup that he's talking about here, and that's something that would be really, really neat. So is this Havre? Or no, I called it Havre again. Havre. Is this Havre? Oh, we're getting into Havre. Is Havre or Havre? Okay, that's the honest debate here. I've looked it up so many times and I get both. So I honestly don't know, and I'm trying to go off of what my viewers here and you guys that are in the comments telling me how to say it from those in the area. I believe it is Havre, but part of me wants to say it's Havre, saying that my Canadian-esqueness, that's a total word, yes. My Canadianism in me wants to say Havre because of the kind of, well, the French that which is our second native language here in Canada. So it is or official language, but it's I want to always say Havre, and it's just the way I see it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the way it's said in Montana, that's for sure. So hopefully you guys can, hopefully I got it right now as Havre, and I'll try and drill it into my brain that is, if it is Havre. So please let me know down below if it actually is Havre, or if I'm still getting it wrong. Yeah, I'm honestly probably still getting it wrong. I wouldn't be surprised at this point. It may be one of those things I forever just mispronounce, and we're gonna have to just kind of go with it, but I'll just forever get roasted by the comment section. I know, it's fine, it's not like that's new anyways. But no, Havre discovered, there we go. And yes, I have actually discovered quite a few places here in Montana, kind of accidentally, to be honest. I've done, a few deliveries, and I've been working away at the Cruising Montana event, which this is, of course, going towards, and I may actually use some engine brake here, so just give me 1 second. Yeah, the engine brake in these mods are always so good. JC Amateurs and Z Mods engine brakes I've always found just to be so good, and especially on this Cat, it's got such a rumbly engine brake and Jake brake. It's just it's an amazing mod. Highly recommend it to anyone who wants to check out a great engine mod that's free on the Steam Workshop. You can check it out down the link below. I'll have that there as always. But yeah, no, Havre, as far as I know, is the way to say it, and please correct me if I'm still saying it wrong, but you know what, it's great to be just calling, no matter how you say it. It's really nice to be exploring Montana here and doing a heavy haul, doing another delivery, and finally being able to do another official episode, and not just a Prime News. Oh, we're going to stay actually behind this tractor. Why not? Come on, truck, you can figure it out. I had no idea what I was doing anyway, so I don't blame it for bogging out on me, because it's not like it knows any better. I'm the one controlling it. But no, it's just great to be over here doing stuff in Montana again, and the timing of it was just really down to me, but it was much needed, and I am happy to say that hopefully things will start to be a little bit more normal around here once again, whatever normal is. That's always up for debate, that's for sure. But it's hopefully we'll have now more mod showcases, as well as mods start to get either updated or new ones come out for 1.45 and specifically Montana. Oh, what? How in the world is that? How in the world am I supposed to brake whenever the AI just jam on the brakes like that? Okay, I'll go backwards a little bit. Okay, now he's just going straight through the red. Okay, that works. Another accident. Well, I guess it's just an accident. I don't think I've had one yet today. Well, that's good. That's a big shock. You gotta love it, the AI sometimes. Now, saying I was following them pretty close. That is definitely on me, and I've got a fairly heavy load behind me, so I probably should have, you know, kept myself in check a little bit there, but I didn't. Once again, big shock. Oh well, it's the way it is. You know, sometimes it's nice just to listen to the acceleration of these engines. I know some people would say it's just you're accelerating. It's nothing really that spectacular. Well, it sounds really good, okay? And just want to hear it sometimes. And that's the point of these sound mods. You want to listen to it a little bit as well. So we've got Texas coming. We've got, well, Montana here now. We've got, of course, the Cruising Montana event. Hopefully everyone is doing quite well on that Cruising Montana event. As I mentioned, I've been kind of going around, and before I kind of got interrupted and distracted on a few things. The reason why I've got quite a few things discovered, and kind of accidentally, is actually just because of trying to find deliveries, especially for my last episode with the oil in Montana. My word, it was very, very hard to try and find a delivery that stayed within Montana and was a reasonable length for a video. Well, at least a video length that I try to do. It was definitely a challenge to try and find one, so I was hop, skipping, and jumping around the DLC to try and find something. Watching the mirror. There we go. We're good. Got a really big train behind me here, and hopefully, and when the AI start to creep out into the intersection while you're still turning, it's makes it a little difficult to get around the corner. That's for sure. But no, it's we've got so much stuff happening here, and I was trying to find a proper delivery, and that was the biggest thing. And I was just having to go around, so I kind of unintentionally discovered a lot of the towns, but never really actually explored them. Just kind of teleported to them and checked the job market and found that there was nothing. So then it just kept going. So I am actually discovering them as I go. And of course, Cruising Montana, I'm actually working along quite well. I've been kind of in testing of the rig to a certain degree. I did a delivery or two, trying not to explore too many new places, but I did have to in one spot kind of explore some new territory, but just kind of to really just test out the new layout and see how I feel. So this is my first official recording on it, so we'll see how things go, but overall I'm actually quite happy with how stuff is laid out. And I'm trying to do a few things too to increase workflow and have some even audio settings, because I don't have like a Go XLR or anything like that where it does all the processing in itself and you set the settings and basically forget about it when it comes to recording. But I can take advantage of VSTs, or basically plugins, audio processing plugins, in my editor, which I use DaVinci Resolve. I can actually take advantage of those and just basically put it on the audio line and where I put my voice and or my voice audio, and just color good. So I'm going to give that a try moving forward. So I don't know if I'll use that technique for this episode, but I'll definitely give it a try for some of the other ones and see how that goes and see how consistent it keeps stuff. That's the biggest thing. I honestly don't think it would be too much different than what I do already within Audacity. To be honest, everything's basically a preset anyways, and that I've set, and then I just apply it. So ultimately, it probably will do the same thing, if not a bit better, and probably sound better as well at the end of the day. And if it removes the step of having to do all that processing in Audacity and then export it and then put it into DaVinci Resolve, it just saves a bit of time where everything's automatically just kind of done in a chain in DaVinci. So I'm going to give that a try. Although you probably won't notice a difference. I may add a few things. I have a few other plugins for other things that may help out with the clarity and stuff of the audio as well, and just liven it up a bit. So we'll see how that one goes and hope for the best when it comes to how that turns out, because any little bit of extra help when it comes to saving a little time, especially for me, is actually very, very important. It just means that I can get episodes out to you guys faster, and it just takes less time to do anyways. It's not like it takes a ton of time to put the stuff on in Audacity anyways, and ultimately that may be the way it stays, but definitely it's handy just to be able to put audio into a track in the editor and just call it good. Don't have to worry about anything else. And I want to do it there, not in just an OBS, because I know some of you may be asking, well, why don't you just put those directly in OBS and just record your voice and game at the same time? Don't need to sync it up, don't need to worry about anything else. Well, because sometimes these plugins can lag, and they also add some latency, and you never know with the CPU processing, and because I only have a single PC setup, you never know if it will kind of affect performance in other places, or if it won't get the resources it needs and won't really work that well. So doing it in the editor is perfectly fine, because my computer is solely tasked at that point at rendering or editing a video, not recording, not running the game itself and doing all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how that one turns out for me, but it'll be a bit of an experiment, just like basically this whole setup change, and we'll see how it goes. Now, hopefully very, very soon we'll have some different stuff for the showcases, and it will be interesting to see how the evolution of ATS Showcases continues. I do a lot of mod coverage, don't get me wrong, but ATS Showcases is also morphed into a very much just more of a standard delivery, just kind of give stuff a try. Sometimes it's just all stock, and I always thought to myself that's kind of interesting, how I let that shift, but also it's actually kind of nice just having these standalone deliveries that it doesn't necessarily have to make any sense. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're part of a logistics kind of company. I'm not having to worry about money. I can just change stuff out, see what kind of stock stuff is in ATS, and then also experiment with the mods. And it is still a showcase. I'm always showcasing something, whether it's just an area on the map or just a truck, or really just doing a delivery and just showcasing, I don't know, something new that I'm talking about. It's always showcasing something, and that's kind of what the idea of ATS Showcases have turned into. But yeah, it's a really interesting. I always thought it was a really interesting series idea, and I was so happy I decided to do it. And well, it's kind of the lead series now, besides Prime News on the channel. And speaking about Prime News, for those who have a keen eye, I believe we just crossed not too long ago the 200 episode mark on Prime News. Oh, we got a car there. I better not drift over into that lane then. Which is also incredible to say that we've already gotten to that point. And we've got a lot of videos here on the channel. So for those who want to look back at some of the older stuff and see the evolution of the channel, well, prepare for cringe, that's for first. And prepare for some pretty bad quality content earlier on. And honestly, right now, it's still hit and miss if it's good quality or not, just saying. But I think it's actually pretty good now. But no, it's kind of it's very, very interesting for me to look back and see how I've changed things, the different ways I've done stuff, and even from behind the scenes, knowing how I operate now when it comes to YouTube versus when I started. I am miles more efficient with things now than I was then, and especially when it comes to recording a video, getting a session started and stuff. I have tools and stuff set up so much better that I can just basically hit a button or two and I'm ready to record. Really problems free, which is really nice. You have the occasional hiccup, and especially when I'm changing stuff around, like this, when major things, there's bound to something to happen, which is why I'm kind of happy that there hasn't been much of anything, but you know what, it's the way it is, and we just get to explore and do some cool things, and that's all I care about here. We discovered a viewpoint. It's coming up here. I'd like to check it out, but I'm also almost about to release my cinematic showcase of Montana, so I think we'll maybe skip that for now. And you'll want to check out an upcoming video, because it's going to be very, very nice. I've seen some of them already, and it is a very, very nice view or there's a lot of very nice viewpoints around Montana. They did an amazing job with some of the cinematics, and once again the DLC just looks truly incredible. So let's go ahead into Great Falls here. We entered the town a while ago, but now we're spinning around towards the actual delivery point, which is quite nice. Can I actually go in from the side here? I think I can. Yes, I can. We're coming in this way. Hopefully we can get through. Yeah, we can. Because I think, I mean, now saying that, the other way was a lot more of a straight shot. But if we come around here... Oh, there's a car there. Oh! I hit the car. No, I did not. Very close to, though. So let's try and get this turned around here. Okay, there we go. That was almost bad. That was almost very bad, but we're all good. No need to worry. So let's try and get this trailer parked in here. Let's see if I can get her in nice and straight. Gonna take it. Oh, it took it. Beautiful. Look at that. It's almost like I planned for that to happen. No, I actually didn't. I was just hoping for the best. So let's listen to this engine shut down, because this is also very good on shutdown as well. Beautiful stuff. Nice peace and quiet. Look at this scenery around here. What a lovely area of Montana this is. Montana DLC is truly incredible. I don't know how they're going to keep improving quality, but somehow SCS Software manages to do it, and I'm just excited to see how especially Texas is going to come out after seeing the quality here in Montana. This Texas is going to blow us all away, I have a feeling. But thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.